My goodness, like, is there another level of suck that you can possibly describe with the Flyers team? I think if you put a standard, like, I guess, T chart or something like that, just to describe the levels of, I guess, from or elite to, mediocre, yeah, elite, good, mediocre, bad, terrible. And I think you have, or suck, terrible. I feel like there's bars below, like completely below, of words that we just don't know to describe how bad this Flyers team is. And I think if you go below the word suck and terrible, you'll find different words to describe how bad this Flyers team is. I think they're completely below in that bar. Like, they're worse than the word suck. They're worse probably than terrible. My goodness. With the way they blew this game to the Montreal Canadiens, honestly, it's absolutely hilarious the way that they blew the game in that style of fashion. But my goodness, just like the way they do it every day, every game. it's like it's like you're just like I can't even describe it. I just can't describe it because it's so, like, you constantly, like, have to get worked back into reality of how bad this team is. I mean, like, my goodness, they did it again. They did it again. Like, I know they're bad. I know they're bad, but Jesus. I just can't explain it. It's like the Flyers are just this unexplainable thing in reality right now, to where it just happens. It does. I feel like you could just sum up this loss to explanation of it's the Flyers, and that's how it works. My goodness, it was so bad. But before we get into this loss tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events. This is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable depending on that outcome. Also, if you are a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sport events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So that could be tickets. And if you want to put yourself through a Flyers game, you can do that. Or if you want to go see the Sixers game, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, definitely go get yourself some Sixers tickets. Baseball, it's finally back. Go get yourself some spring training tickets for the Phillies in Clearwater. Also opening day tickets. And then when the NFL season comes back, you can always use that. You can't pass away a $20 in your pocket. Use that for beer. Use that for food at the arena, at the stadium. Can't pass that up. Use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Flyers lose in overtime 4-3 to the Montreal Canadiens. And the fashion that the Flyers lost this game, my goodness, they were leading with, like, in the final minute of this game. They get a power play in the final minute of this game. And they allow a shorthanded goal like 10 seconds into the penalty play. I actually do want to see when they get the power. Okay, 17 seconds into the power play. Okay, well, I gave them a little too much credit there. 17 seconds into the power play. Oh my God. I was just like, come on, a power play should seal this game away. But yet again, this is the Flyers power play we're talking about. Probably the worst power play in the entire National Hockey League. And I thought a power play should be enough to close the game out. Boy, I was wrong. I was so wrong. And they almost called it a 5-minute major. Oh, the Flyers probably needed that 5-minute major since it went into overtime. My goodness. And also, like, things that stand out from this game that aren't negative: Claude Giroux getting his 900th career National Hockey League point. And one thing that I do want to kind of rant about from the way that, like, they did all the recognition on Twitter, social media, and stuff, but it took the Wells Fargo Center forever to even recognize that Giroux got his 900th career point. Forever. He scores it in the second period to give the Flyers a 2-1 lead. And then they just don't recognize it until, like, the beginning of the third period, and not even during a commercial break. They do it during the play, to where it's like anyone's barely paying attention to the scoreboard. They're paying attention to the faceoff that's about to be put down. And Then you see the guys on the bench like congratulating Claude Giroux. Then you see on the scoreboard it says a little graphic right there for Claude Giroux's 900 career National Hockey League point, and then you get the applause for like 10 seconds. Like I felt like it could have done better there. You could have done a lot better to recognize that Giroux got his 900 career point. Like wait till a commercial break, maybe do like a little highlight clip, and then show his 900 career point graphic. Then you could have Lou announce it during the commercial break. Then you can get the round of applause for G. And, maybe it's not rocket science. It's like show a little appreciation for the guy that's been on your team for years and you failed to build around. I don't know, because he's not gonna be in a Flyers uniform for much longer. And Thursdays is a 1,000th career game. So yeah, show the guy a little recognition. Hopefully Thursday ceremony, if whatever they do on Thursday, hopefully it was way better than how they handled that. Hopefully, my goodness. But other things that are positives in this game that I can somewhat find: Morgan Frost moved up to the line with Konechny and Giroux. I thought he had a pretty good game, but in the overtime he did turn the puck over, which led to the game-winning goal by Cole Caulfield. And other things, I know people really want to harp on Ristolainen for what happened on that game-tying goal at the end of the game, but I blame that more on guys like Derek Brassard for not taking the pass away whatsoever, and Travis Sanheim for turning the puck over, because Risto's trying to do the right thing right there and take away the pass. He's trying so hard to take away the shot and also take away the pass. Yeah, sadly, he went into the boards and he kind of hit his head going into the boards, so that's probably why he got up so slow. But you have to look at the entire way. I know Ristolainen made a lot of mistakes in this game that led to the first goal by Nick Suzuki, and then eventually, the second goal actually by Nick Suzuki. But yes, he made some mistakes. Like, of course, I'm not going to constantly bash Ristolainen like a lot of people do. I know Ristolainen's not the best player in the world, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with that contract. Even I'm not the biggest fan of that contract, but I'm not going to constantly bash the guy when the bashing is not required. So I kind of feel like some people do go a little bit overboard with it, but sometimes it is due, sometimes it isn't. And that final goal, the game-tying goal that Montreal had at the end of the game, was not a reason to blame Ristolainen, in my honest opinion. But that's just my little 2 cents on the entire situation right there. But yeah, just Flyers lost in Flyers fashion. They get the first goal of this game. They do. But, Kevin Hayes, off of a great setup play by JVR and Travis Sanheim. Kevin Hayes basically just a tic-tac-toe goal into the empty net. Flyers go up 1-0. Flyers don't score on the power play. Surprise, surprise, their power play freaking sucks. And that really showcased at the end of this game, the Flyers go over 2 on the power play. And in that second period, once again, by the Flyers, was just completely awful. Completely awful. They allowed Nick Suzuki to tie the game up on the power play. Hart was a little screen there. He also got a piece of it with his arm. So I'm not sure if he saw it fully, but he also does get a piece of it there. So the game's tied at 1 there. And then you get Claude Giroux off of a great feed from Frost and Travis Konechny. He puts it in past Montembeault, puts the game up for 2-1 for the Flyers. That's his 900 career point as a Flyer, 900 career point in the National Hockey League. And that also puts him, I think, solely in 8th on the Flyers' all-time goal scoring list. He just passed Eric Lindros. So that's something for Claude Giroux right there. But then not so long after, you really don't get to, celebrate the Claude Giroux getting his 900 career point, because Nick Suzuki ties it immediately at 2 goals apiece. And the Flyers continued to take bad penalties in this period. They took a lot of them, and Montreal went 1 for 4 on the power play in this game. So yeah, not a good second period by the Flyers. Going to the third period, almost at the fourth period, even though technically that is the overtime. We'll get there eventually. So third period, Flyers get the early one. Get a little bit of a weird rush between, Brassard, Farabee, Atkinson. You get Farabee getting the puck, going up through the slot, through the middle of the ice, and he finds a way to get to Cam Atkinson, who's falling down at the same time, and he manages to put the puck past Montembeault, giving the Flyers a 3-2 lead. And then eventually it's your back and forth play, even though I do think Montreal was kind of the better team in this game throughout majority of the game. And eventually, an entire situation, they pull the goaltender at the end of the game. Farabee gets interfered with, which originally was not called a penalty on the ice, even though he literally got kneed in the goddamn nutsack. So, in the testicles. So, yeah, it looked painful. Hopefully, Farabee is okay. But the refs originally called it a 5-minute penalty when they discussed it. Then they reviewed it like they always do. Then they changed it to 2 minutes for interference. So, the Flyers go in the power play for the final minute of the game. So, yeah. They turn it over immediately. They cannot generate any type of zone pressure whatsoever like they always do. And Montreal goes immediately down the ice, and it's Rem Pitlick who puts in a one-timer pass past Carter Hart and ties the game at 3, literally not that long into the power play. Like I said earlier, it was 17 seconds. It felt like quicker. It was 17 seconds into the Flyers power play to end the game off. So Montreal ties the game. Flyers still in the power play. They can't find a way to score with all the timeouts and all that crap. Going to the OT. Flyers can't score on the 4-on-3 in the OT. And then the power play ends. Montreal kills it off. You get a whistle for offside. It goes back to 3-on-3 hockey. Morgan Frost turns the puck over. Ivan Provorov can't read the blind change that's coming off of the ice for Montreal. It's Cole Caulfield with all the space in the world, and he snipes it past Carter Hart to win the game for Montreal by a score of 4-3 in the overtime. Just a huge sigh of disappointment. Huge sigh, even though I shouldn't be disappointed because I should expect this from the Flyers, but what the hell are you going to do in that scenario? So, totals in this game, shots on goal per period. First period, 11-9 in favor of Montreal. Second period, 10-6 in favor of Montreal. Third period, 13-11 in favor of Montreal. And the overtime, 4-1 in favor of the Flyers. But the lone shot for Montreal was the game-winning goal by Cole Caulfield. Flyers win faceoff percentage 60-40%. Flyers go 0-2 on the power play, while Montreal goes 1-4. Physical game on the Flyers aspect, 29 hits to 15 in favor of them, and the Flyers also blocked a lot of shots, 22-14, and there were a lot of turnovers and giveaways, as you would expect, just because they're two terrible teams. So after this game, going back, the Flyers have 3 days off here, and then they'll have an upcoming game on Thursday, which is going to be Claude Giroux's 1,000th career game in the National Hockey League against the Nashville Predators this Thursday. And then looking at the standings right now, just to see where the Flyers place after this loss, they are still the worst team in the Metropolitan Division, now 2 points behind the New Jersey Devils. The Flyers are 18-30-11 with 47 points. And then you get the entire league right now. The Flyers are officially the fourth worst team in the National Hockey League after this loss. Officially the fourth worst. They are at 47 points. They are 5 points ahead of the Seattle Kraken, who are the third worst team in the league. And then you get Arizona and Montreal, who are both in the worst spot with 40 points each. Arizona gets 31st, technically, because they have the game in hand. But at the end of the day, who cares? You're still a terrible hockey team at the end of the day. The Flyers are also tied with the Ottawa Senators, but Ottawa has the extra game in hand on them. So there you go. My God, this team that is the Philadelphia Flyers. It's so, like, it would be so easy just to bitch and complain constantly after all these games, but like, I feel like, with, how Steve Dangle feels with the Toronto Maple Leafs constantly and how Toronto has been just, throughout his entire life. I feel like I'm just kind of numb to this right now. Even though, like, it kind of snapped for me like a couple of games ago against the Hurricanes. It kind of snapped a little bit just from when you're thinking to yourself. But I think I'm just kind of numb to it because I just expect this to happen because that's how bad they are. Man, this team sucks. This team sucks. And I do see a couple of you in the live feed right now. I see EJW right here. How you doing, my guy? Always appreciate you commenting on the videos. This team is worse than I ever saw. This is the worst team I've ever seen as a Flyers fan. I would agree with you. I definitely would agree with you there. Then he said, I laugh every time I hear management and ownership say retool. We got Fred here, Fred Benson, saying, which Comcast property is worse, the 2021-22 Philadelphia Flyers or NBC's primetime programming, or both? I don't watch television. Well, I don't watch live television, basically, so I would not know anything of NBC's live programming. So I would say the 21-22 Philadelphia Flyers right there, Fred. Oh, man. Yeah, my entire TV life is either, streaming or YouTube, basically. So I really don't, or just sports. If it's live television, I'm mainly watching sports on live television. I'm not really watching TV or anything like that. So Fred says, hey, Comcast want to improve the Flyers, hire Gwen Stefani, Blake Shelton from NBC's The Voice. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. This team. I'm just scrolling through Twitter right now because I'm just constantly, just trying to figure out what the Phillies are going to fucking do in free agency. And then also just seeing the people's reaction from this Flyers game. It's just simply amazing right now. So it's weird. Oh, look at this. Interesting deal right here. The Yankees are finalizing a deal to acquire Josh Donaldson and shortstop Isaiah Keener, whoever that is, from the Minnesota Twins. And it looks like Gary Sanchez is going to Minnesota in return. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. But this is not a baseball podcast. This is not a baseball anything. So, yeah. Oh, man, the Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia Flyers. So, I think that's where I'm going to end this video, boys. I'm literally just broken as a Flyers fan. I would do a Sixers stream, but I wasn't able to watch the Sixers game tonight because I was at the Flyers game. So, Sixers, they play tomorrow at home against the Denver Nuggets. So I'm going to do that recap of that game. And then, basically during this 3-day off stretch, you got Sixers tomorrow, you got Sixers on Wednesday, you got Flyers on Thursday and Friday. Then you got Sixers on Friday as well. And then whenever the Phillies decide to make some type of good signing, and I'm talking about good, I'm not talking about Familia or Odubel Herrera once again. I'm not talking about that shit. So if the Phillies eventually do make a signing, I will do a video on that or live stream on that just to get your guys' reaction as well. So definitely stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for the Sixers recaps in the upcoming week. So definitely for that. So thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. What are your thoughts on this game? Just everything Flyers in general. Are you upset that Thursday might be the last home game for Claude Giroux in a Flyers uniform, or whatever your feelings basically just about the entire thing and the Philadelphia Flyers in general? So don't forget to leave those comments in the comment section below. I like to see it as always. Don't forget to drop a like as well. Also, don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said earlier, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.